Hi everyone, it's Knitting in Our Jeans and I'm Carolyn and I'm flying solo. Um, we've been packing today. We're going to meet Jim and Lorraine tomorrow uh, out in Arizona to go hiking. And Elizabeth and Ben had driven home from Thanksgiving and stopped to pick up some holiday decorations, and they were putting together, I think they said, a cabinet today from IKEA and putting up the decorations. So they didn't come today. So I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry and Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram. And I've managed to pack the knitting that I've been doing. So my pink Shirley is packed and my For Sara is packed. The good news is my For Sara, I think, um, well, it's bigger. It's turning out bigger than I thought it would, which is fine, which means I can why you make samples so that by the time I talk to you all about it, I have an idea how it's going to go. Um, so it's almost like a swatch, a gauge swatch, only I'm going to be doing an entire vest swatch. Um, so I'm taking it with us. I'm taking my Shirley with me, and I'm taking the For Sara with me. Um, I may be able to finish the Shirley. I'm working on the first sleeve. I had to go down and find some smaller needles, not smaller diameter wise, but smaller lengthwise, because the lace, I don't usually have a problem doing magic loop with circular needles, but with the lace, it was really stretching the sleeve totally out of whack. So I had to get some shorter needles, some shorter circular needles, and I think they'll work out. Um, so I think that that'll be okay. Anyway, they're packed. So the Shirley's moving along. The For Sara, I like the way it's going. It needs to be taken back down to the and I'm doing the crochet first, so it needs to be taken down to the chain because it's just too big. Um, it's even too big for me. It's very much like my knitting in that when you cast on, your cast on first rows are smaller than what you're going to end up, with your finished project. So I have kept stitch markers on it, so I know it's right now a chain of 105. I think I'm going to take it down to a chain of 90. I got a new ruler. We were at West Marine on Friday. Yes, it was not overrun. Anybody who's doing Black Friday was not at West Marine. Anyway, I got a 6 foot, really nice, like builder's ruler. So it's nice. It has its own body. It's stiff. It's metal. So I will measure exactly how wide the 105 chain has ended up being, so that I can use Sarah's measurements to figure out how much I want to take it down to. But those two projects are packed. I took a picture this morning of something that I started working on, and it's with Jody Long's Glam Haze. It's a luxurious superfine alpaca and mohair blend, and boy, does it have a haze to it. All right, this is a little greener than I normally would pick up, but you can see that it does have some blue in it. So for me, it's like an aqua that I'm really liking. So I have, you know me and directions. I can misread them with the best of them. So it's taken me all afternoon to get this far. First, I did a gauge swatch, and there's a picture of the gauge swatch on Instagram, and that was fine. I ended up with size 7 needles instead of size 8 needles, so that was good. And I have done now the center back, and now I'm working on the right side here. It's done in reverse stockinette, so it means it's knit on the inside and purl on the outside. I think they wanted more texture. So now I've got this, and this will keep growing this way to put in a shoulder seam here instead of doing a raglan. It's supposed to end up looking like a takeoff on a Chanel sweater. This is called the Princess of Odds, Odds. I think a takeoff on the Wizard of Oz. It said Princess of Odds. So I started this today in order to have something to do. Could I have worked on my counter cross stitch? Yes, I could have. But I had bought this, and I thought, well, if I can get this going past the beginning, I'll be fine. So I'm going to see if I can do the right shoulder seam and the left shoulder seam tonight, and then I'm going to leave it here because I will be taking the other two projects on the trip. But I think that this is kind of like a sweater coat, so like a sweater Chanel. And honestly, I'd love to have it. So I'm glad I was able to start it today. I am wearing my hybrid Henley and circle dress that I didn't make a pattern for yet. It's a hybrid of two separate patterns that you can find on Ravelry. I mean, just look up a Henley and then attach it to the ribbed dress and you've got it. I find it really comfortable. Packing today was a joy. Having food allergies means I end up having to take food with me, which makes my suitcase heavier. So hopefully we'll pass the weight. And other than that, there's not much new. So I want you all to weave in those ends. I have no ends to weave in. I've just started a project here. And I won't be recording next weekend because we'll still be away, but hopefully the weekend after that. So like the weekend of like the 15th, we should be back. So keep your fingers crossed. I hope everybody had a really nice Thanksgiving. We did. We got to see lots of family and it seemed to go really well. So weave in those ends. Try to exercise off your Thanksgiving dinner, and we'll see you when we get back. Bye.